I'm an artist based in New York. I grew up on the North Fork of Long Island, where I still live and work. It's a place to enjoy nature and create in quiet. I've really come to love the slowed down pace of life, which allows for great reflection. Eastern Long Island also offers an abundant and supportive arts community, which I've become so appreciative of. The North Fork is a special place with rich farmland and beautiful beaches. This work has given me a break from my internal dialogue and my sense of being lost in the world. I find that at times I feel so insecure in so many parts of my life, but being an artist rarely falls into that trap. Being an artist and in my element always boosts my confidence. I've wanted to be an artist since I was 12. I've always felt self-assured in this. I have so much fun creating the work. Nothing makes me happier than being confronted with the challenge of my art. The process for this body of work is taking time to untangle the lines on the canvas and the thoughts in my head. After layering blank contour drawings, I look to isolate shapes within the drawings. With the first two colors, it's all about finding the most interesting shapes from the intertwined drawings. Then the last few colors are used to fill in shapes that orchestrate the balance. Selecting colors brings me the most bliss. I always strive to achieve harmony with the colors. Looking ahead, I hope to continue exploring self-portraiture and dive deeper into abstraction. I hope to keep telling my story with my art and sharing it with my community.
Hello, we're here with Kaitlin Beebe in the artist studio. We're calling this segment. Yay, Kaitlin, thank you for joining us. The Ferris Art Gallery is featuring Kaitlin's work this February, and we're creating kind of a mixed delivery exhibit. We'll have some of her work on display. We'll also have work online, so you can see more of her work online. Kaitlin has created a video short about her work and her studio practice that you can watch, as well as watching this interview. All of these things will be available through the Ferris Gallery website and our Facebook page. So this is a new thing for all of us, trying to get through COVID and still bring art to the world, right? Yeah. So Kaitlin and I met in the summer of 2019, and it was a great summer. It was a great summer because it was before anyone heard of COVID, and we actually got to talk and sit next to each other and walk around our studio spaces at this art residency, and it was a wonderful experience. I was so impressed with Kaitlin's work that I wanted to bring it to the Ferris Art Gallery. And we've put her show off a little bit because of COVID, but I think that we're going to go ahead and try and introduce her to our community. So hello, Kaitlin. Welcome.
Hi, Carrie. Thanks so much for having me, and thank you for the opportunity to share my work with your community.
Thank you. Absolutely. So Kaitlin and I met at the Golden Apple Artist Residency in Harrington, Maine. It was my second
Mine too.
residency. Yeah, and Caitlin's second residency. Can you talk with us a little bit about this body of work that you were creating at the artist residency?
Yeah. So before arriving at Golden Apple, I had this exchange with a friend, and it kind of resulted in me walking away realizing I had changed a lot in the course of this friendship. And I arrived at Golden Apple thinking, wow, I've really matured and I didn't realize it. It snuck up on me. So, and I knew I wanted to get back into drawing after studying printmaking at MICA in Baltimore. So I started by doing some really meditative blind contour drawings where I would study myself in a mirror and draw without looking at the paper or lifting my drawing utensil. And it really gave me time to reflect. And I started experimenting by layering the drawings. And I think it really captured what I was feeling about growing up. And in some ways, growing up becomes more tangled.
Yeah.
And in other ways, you kind of untangle yourself too, which I think I communicated in highlighting all the shapes in the work.
So Caitlin's work is, this body of work is large scale. They're self-portraits. They're drawn in a contour or blind contour format. That's where you're looking at the outline of a form. If it's a blind contour, you're not looking at the paper, which is really challenging, and it's something that all art students learn how to do. But it's not something that a lot of artists I'm familiar with like very much or continue in their practice. Now, the first thing I want to do is have Kaitlin talk a little bit about her art experience, because we're talking about art school right now. So your art degree is from
The Maryland Institute College of Art in Baltimore.
Excellent. And this is something that you have decided is important in this body of work, this particular style. Talk to us a little bit about what that particular style represents for you in this work.
I think it really represents taking a pause and really slowing down, taking time to reflect. You know, it's such a intimate experience studying yourself in the mirror and reflecting on your journey, how it's come. It kind of, as the drawing flows, I find it really peaceful, and I'm really reminded of my sense of self, which I think recently, from taking a break from this work, I really lost.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a beautiful analogy. All of these things that you're thinking about, you mentioned tangling and untangling, and I can tell you, even when you get to your 50s, you're still trying to untangle. That's for sure. And there's a lot of beautiful line work in these drawings that you could consider kind of tangled together. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you titled this Diary in Pink.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about the title.
So pink has really become a color I've associated with myself. At one point, I had pink hair. And in 2018, I really tried to dig into why this color had become so synonymous with myself. And I think I've come to realize that I've always tried to detract attention from myself. especially my body, which is something my thesis work really focused on. And I think embracing a bold color like pink has empowered me to be more open and more proud of myself.
Very nice. Well, it's a very powerful color right now. If you think about the women's marches that have been happening in the last year. So the color pink is traditionally associated with being really feminine or like girlish. You think about Barbie or, children's toys, a lot of pink for girls. But I think this, your generation, and with this movement, we're really redefining the color pink, and we're talking about it as being a really strong color. And so I appreciate how timely this body of work is, and these issues that you're addressing. That's excellent. What else can we talk about? So, do you feel like you've concluded with this body of work, or is this something that you will continue to explore?
I think the 30 by 40 inches drawings, which will be on display both online and at Ferris, have kind of run their course. I found that they were getting a little repetitive, and that's why I took a break from that work. But and that break kind of coincided with COVID. So I kind of had to switch over to focusing on my business art, and returning back to this. The process still really speaks to me. I find it very therapeutic. I think I'm communicating something a little different, and I know I'm gaining a lot out of it. I think one of the challenges I face is how to keep evolving it.
Yes, I think every artist comes to a point in a series where they just feel like they've concluded, like they've explored it as far as they can. However, since this is so personal and these are self-portraits, I would say as you go through changes, it's something you certainly could continue to explore and might be a really interesting retrospective at some point, to see bodies of work from your 20s through your, 40s, 50s, and beyond.
Yeah, I've been working with self-portraiture since about 2015. So I'm going on 6 years now. It's always been a little abstracted, and has dealt with different facets of myself. It began with my body image, and now it's a little more internal dialogue that I'm confronting. I just really found that self-portraiture is sharing what I'm experiencing is my most powerful work so far, and it's the story I best communicate.
That's wonderful. Well, we appreciate that you're sharing it with us, and I think it's something that our community is going to really enjoy. I wish that we could be 100% in the gallery for your work, and maybe we'll explore a future exhibit. Hopefully we'll get back to a more normal schedule at some point. How has COVID affected, you mentioned your art business, has it affected your business at all?
Yes. So my livelihood is very seasonal. I do a lot of art festivals with a body of work that really celebrates where I'm from, the North Fork of Long Island, which is about 2 hours east of New York City. It began as an exercise in celebrating my hometown in different business locations. And that's where I started selling to my community at fairs. But when fairs canceled, I panicked.
Oh no.
I really started an online presence, and where I'm from, there are a lot of farmland. So we have farm stands everywhere. And my dad and I got inspired by those farm stands, and we started an art stand.
Did you really? Oh,
Yes.
that's brilliant.
So we have an art stand outside my house. This winter, it traveled down the road to a Christmas tree farm where
Okay.
where I've been selling my work, and that was purely born out of COVID times.
That's incredible. That's incredible. That's wonderful.
Right.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I'm sure that our artist community, we're all, trying to make sure that we not only survive through this, but thrive. And it sounds like you've created a really interesting little business model where you're thriving. So that's excellent.
Yeah, and I'm so lucky because I have such great support at home, in my community, in my family, and with the amazing people I've met at residencies.
We only have a few minutes left, but talk just a little bit about residencies. Um, as I mentioned earlier, you and I met at residencies, but I know that you have attended a number of other residencies, and just share why you think they're so important, and what you gain when you attend these residencies.
So I really think art school is really like your first experiences as a residency, right? You're absorbed in the work. It's a very concentrated focus on your work. And when I left college, I didn't have a disciplined home practice where I was alone in my studio
Mhm.
and didn't have the structure of assignments or classes. So going to residencies really allowed me to focus on that work. And I've kind of finished out my thesis work. And now that I've developed a studio practice that's a little more disciplined, I've really come to appreciate residencies for the connection, the ability to walk into Carrie's studio and say, "Hey, can you come look at this?" and
Right.
have those conversations. Especially now in COVID, I come from a very art centric community, but I can't invite anyone in. So I'm very much still actively applying to residencies. I think they're a great tool for artists.
Excellent. And what is your next residency that you hope to be accepted to?
I just applied to Virginia Center of Creative Arts. I'm
Nice.
also hoping to apply to the Roswell Artist in Residency program.
That would be exciting.
That would be exciting.
Yeah, that would be
I
exciting.
think part of my success in this world is willing to hear no and keep applying. I've applied to Roswell since I was a junior in college.
Have you really?
Um,
Yep, they're
yeah.
not easy to get into. They're really, I keep trying to get into a national parks residency in Hawaii, and I keep getting a no answer. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the summer. Maybe that'll
Yeah, I a great tool for artists is the Artist Alliance. They post a lot of residencies. So when I first applied to, I'll use Roswell as an example, there were 250 applicants the year before I applied.
wow,
Last year, I think they had over 600 applicants.
did they really? So it
It,
just gets harder every
yeah,
year, more
it's so
competitive.
competitive. Yeah.
Well, I wish you luck in getting into Roswell. That would be really excellent. And I want to thank you for your time today. We look forward to seeing your work on campus and online. And I look forward to the video you've created, talking a little bit more about this body of work. And for anyone who wants to get in touch with Kaitlin, you can follow her work online. There's www.kbeebartist.net. And I believe you have an Instagram page also, correct?
It is BBKAITLIN artist on Instagram.
Perfect. Perfect. And you do have work that is available for purchase. So people can get online and buy an original Kaitlin Beebe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's really good to see you. It's great to hear from you. Thank you for your time today. And we hope to see more from you and out of your studio in the years to come.
Great. Thank you so much, Carrie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.